Dr. Darren, I see you calling in from your mobile office today. It looks nice and cold out where you're at. I love it. How are you today?
I'm great. Thanks. We're out in the country right now, and so I don't have as good of internet service on the inside, but I have a pretty good signal here in my truck. So we're gonna do it mobile. But glad to be a part of it. Glad we got some technology and the ability to share on this incredible company and this incredible product, and one of the many that we have. So thanks for having me.
Yeah, definitely. So I'd like to start with the first question with you is just personally, you've used our core before. What did you like about it? What really made it a great product for you to consume on a personal basis, first and foremost?
Good question. Nitric oxide has been around. I would say is probably one of the top five. Probably one of the top three actually newest nutrients coming on board, to the general public. So we've had some exposure to it with some other vendors and some other lines. But the thing I love the most about ours is the delivery, because everything else was in a pill form and there was different, ways to get it into your system. But there wasn't something that, you could put into a beverage that was no calorie, that had the stevia and the monk fruit, that had all that synergistic blend, and something that you simply enjoyed drinking every day. And so I think the products, cutting edge. Not everybody has learned about nitric oxide and all the benefits of it. Like I said, it was 1992 that it became the molecule of the year. So when it takes 20 to 25 years for new information to come down, and like I said, I've been ahead of it probably about 5 years or so is when I first started hearing it. So the fact that we're coming on with this thing in the last couple of years, modifying it, getting that delivery and that taste and that calorie, combination just right, I think we're in a great spot with this.
Yeah, hey, definitely. Darren, just to interject, because Jonas, a lot of people are talking more about nitric oxide. It's been around and it hasn't been available on the market. And so I think that this delivery system, you mentioned a couple key things. One, it's easy and it tastes good, because that's one of the things that I think with some of the products, I am not the person that would be drinking something like this, but the delivery system on this and what it's providing for the body. And I know when I was with you last week, you were doing the test strips, on the levels of nitric oxide that are in our body. So maybe you can speak to that, because the majority of people, and as we get a little older, we lose that nitric oxide in the body. So just for anybody that's new to it, even though it's been out there, why do we need that nitric oxide and those higher levels in our bodies?
Great question. So every patient that comes into my office, we try to get an in-body composition, and we try to get a blood pressure reading on them. And so, with blood pressure being the silent killer for a lot of things, a lot of people aren't very cognizant of their blood pressure, or they don't mark it on a regular basis. And so anybody who comes into my office has even a borderline or a hypertension, one of the first things I want to do is I want to give them a nitric oxide strip, and I want to test their nitric oxide levels, for that day. And probably 49 out of 50 or low. If I catch a good vegetarian, vegan, plant-based eater, somebody who eats a lot of green leafies, many times I'm floored to see that they can bring their own nitric oxide levels up with a lot of their diet. But I like to use it to one test as an objective to show patients, just like their weight. We're not looking at just their number. We're looking at their muscle. We're looking at their fat. We're looking at their water. We're looking at their composition. We're looking at their visceral fat. This is just another metric that we want to bring to light to people, because a lot of things with supplements are based upon feel or personal testimonial or something like that. I like that, but I also like objectiveness. And so some people may be called to action. They may be called to try something because they see something that says, man, this is low, it should be high. And then I show them all the benefits of what this stuff does. And then and then when I get it into them, this is one of the best ones that then the field takes back over quickly. So they get the difference of, from their own experience. And so sometimes showing them an objective measure followed by, yeah, this makes sense, I want to try it, to yeah, I want to keep buying it and keep taking it. So yeah, that's what we do with those strips. Love using them.
Yeah, I like that objectiveness. We kind of do the same thing in my office. And actually, when I was talking to the scientists who helped launch that, if patients are on hormones, their blood can get really thick because the blood's not being oxygenated like it should. And so, when we look at that, we can look at some of the blood, the red blood cells, the hemoglobin, hematocrit, and the doc goes, it's kind of like putting gasoline into a broken engine. When you do that, it doesn't matter. You can put all the gas you want, but if the engine's broken, nothing's happening. And so what I love about Core is that it's kind of the main engine for the entire body. Because the more blood flow that we can have going throughout the body, the more nutrient rich, the more oxygen rich blood we have flowing everywhere. When we consume those foods, those nutrients from other supplements, even our own supplements, they're going to work better. The body's going to be able to allow them to move around the body even more. That's what I really love about this. Darren, and Lita, we'll come right to you, but I got a great question because I like that question that you had, Amani. Here's a good question. Nitric oxide. It's been around since the 90s, like you said, the miracle molecule. Why hemp and nitric oxide? And because we were the first company to ever put this together, but what makes hemp so special, the CB receptors so special when we put that and mix it with nitric oxide?
Great question. The CBD, that would probably be the number one newest product that's hit the market. And so we were the first company, the pioneers that had the hemp coming, as the legal system let it come through. And so hemp in itself has its own effect on the endothelium. And so like, I agree with what you said about circulation. Everything's about circulation. And when you see my video, I said, whether it's from the nose to the brain, and the nose to the other brain, or from the nose to the toes, it's all about getting circulation to everything. And so when you got a compound like nitric oxide, that's called an endothelium vasodilator. So you're opening up these arteries through a messaging system using a gas. Well, the endocannabinoid system is another system that works along with that as well. And so to have the two most unique brand new products with just a reference and research coming together. And then when you throw the CoQ10 in there, you throw the astaxanthin, which is, the antioxidant level, you get the amino acids with the arginine and the citrulline, the fermented the beet juice that has the trimethylglycine. And so you have these methyl donors that all play in together how this synergistic, spinning wheel of biochemistry has to work. You need the methylfolate to get over here to the SAMe to get to the, and so all this stuff is a bunch of circus, wheels that all have to flow together. And so, you can use standalone products, but when you can actually blend, some of these in a formula, you really get a kind of an exponential effect on the body. And so instead of just the one benefit of the one, product by itself, I put in my talk using, citrulline and arginine, each are effectively on their own, but when you use them together, you can actually use less of each individual product for a greater effect. So that's what we're to look for with and I would say put cannabinoid extracts in there, just give you that extra layer that of course I'm always going to back with diet. You guys have to understand that most of these nitrates are coming from your diet. And so we're going to give you some with those beets. We're going to give you some, with that superfood that allows a lot of different, processes in the body from detoxification. It's one of the first things I think about with beet and all the other things that it provides. I think you just got a great product that tastes great and it doesn't taste like you're drinking medicine.
Yeah. Yeah, because the flavor of beets, I'm not a big fan of it, but I can drink this all day long. So yes, the delivery method is something that's
I love beets and I love beet juice, but I also like this because I'm not a big fan of stevia. And I have to say that we nailed it on this because the taste is phenomenal. It doesn't taste medicinal. It tastes, and I have yet to try the new one, but I know it's going to be just as good because you told me it was, Jonas.
Oh yeah, I think it's even better. So
and so did Darren.
Dr. Lita, you with us?
I am. Can you see me and hear me?
Everybody's in their mobile office today, huh? I like it. These docs, they don't
Hi,
rest, y'all.
Lisa.
Hi, hey everybody, hi family.
Hello. So, Dr.
Aw.
Lisa, real quick, I have a two-part question for you. One, what did you
Yeah.
like about Core for yourself personally? And number two, I know you've seen the ingredients that are in here, and if you kind of want to break those down, I know Dr. Darren touched on them a little bit, but like, you know, everything that we have in there, and what kind of makes those so special for the human body to be able to utilize what we're talking about, that nitric oxide, what we're in. So what do you love best about Core for yourself before we even get started?
I love it. Well, glad to be here. And I'm sorry, Darren, I didn't get to hear you. I just was finishing up with the patient. We had to get on the road. So first and foremost, there's a lot of education around this. Okay. So I'm just going to break it down and answer your question. I do want to say to Prime family that I have recorded a few videos. I have a few videos tomorrow. So we're going to be laying out, educating you guys on how to understand the new formula and how to best, quote unquote, recommend it. First and foremost, I use it as an EMF protector. I don't know if anyone talks about electromagnetic radiation. Those are the waves, that are moving through space, but it literally affects and alters our cell physiology by altering the redox potential of cells. And I don't want to get into all that, but everybody knows about oxidative stress. And so when you take Core, when you take this supplement, it's going to support the nitrate to the nitrate to the nitric oxide pathways to decrease oxidative stress. So I do that first for EMF protection. The second thing I do is it literally helps me get the oxygen and the nutrients to my cells. Okay. That's the second thing. I use it as a blood invigorator. That's a term in Chinese medicine we use to make sure that everything that I'm sure Dr. Darren talked about, and then the last thing I use it for is to help with my REM sleep. REM sleep deprivation can impair nitric oxide signaling in the endothelial dysfunction, also with hypertension, but I don't have high blood pressure. So I don't use it for that, but mainly for making sure, especially when I don't move my body a lot, I'll just do an extra dose. So again, I kind of use it back and forth. I use the no strips, the nitric oxide strips all the time. I always give strips to anyone I sell Core to, just to make sure. I obviously empower them to buy their own, but I want to make sure, especially even if I recommend any of our products I'm empowering the person to take a scan. Hey, where am I at now? And then how do I feel after one tub of Core or one bottle of hemp? Because I really want to make sure that people are involved in this process of health, right? Mm-hmm. Because you don't want to, anyway. So Jonas, I'm happy to go through what's in it, how it supports. I did make some notes. So first and foremost, I'm going to go through vitamin C. So everybody knows it's a water-soluble vitamin. It's required for the biosynthesis of collagen, of L-carnitine, of certain neurotransmitters. It's also involved in protein metabolism. I mean, we know we need vitamin C, okay? So this is huge. And insufficient vitamin C, we look at fatigue, but of course, a lot of other things, weakness. Vitamin D, next, why are we having vitamin D in here? Well, first of all, everybody is inside more often than not, so we need to have vitamin D. It is essential for calcium absorption in the gut. It's also, people can Google the benefits of vitamin D, of course, but we need it for bone growth, right? Think of bones. It plays a lot of reduction, a role in inflammation. And so I didn't talk about the inflammation part. If anyone has itises, we're not making medical claims, but this is why nitric oxide is critical. And so vitamin D plays a role in reducing that inflammation processes as well. We move on to niacinamide, vitamin B3, okay? This is actually made from the body tryptophan, right? So we know about that, but why do we need this? Well, we need proper fat sugar body in the body to maintain cells, okay? So I think that for me, I use niacin supplements for to keep my metabolic go, heart disease, cataracts, blood pressure, any other conditions. It is essential, B3. So people do get it from their diet, but I want you to understand, even though I'm going through these items separately and maybe not so eloquently. I know everybody knows I was in a car accident, so my brain is, I'm taking the focus, but I will be able to, in the video, just outline very simply. And you don't need to know this. I want to make sure the field knows. You don't need to know what every ingredient does, more about the synergy. Next one is magnesium citrate. Okay, this is a naturally occurring mineral. Okay, it's essential for the body, for mainly muscles and nerves. And then a little bit, most patients I know, people take it for increasing water in the intestines because they get constipation. Now, L-arginine, HCl, this is the vasodilator. This is helping the nitric oxide. This is helping the beetroot juice powder, okay? This is gonna help open and dilate your blood vessels, okay? And a lot of people have issues, right? Erectile dysfunction, peripheral artery disease, right? High blood pressure, chest pain. So L-arginine HCl is a really important component to have here. And then the main one is beetroot juice powder, okay? We know it contains nitrates. Nitrates, we know, are in beets, they're in other vegetables, but they're gonna help with what I believe I caught Dr. Darren saying, improving vascular function, healthy blood flow, okay? And this is why we can claim or state or suggest this formula is good for athletes, good for blood pressure, good for blood sugar, okay? That's the nitric oxide coming from the beetroot juice powder in your body. And then L-citrulline. So this is a non-essential amino acid. So this is a thing that happens in your kidneys. The most important thing I could say to you is heart and blood vessel health, okay? A little bit around the immune system. So of course they put that in there. Now, quercetin, this is in a lot of foods, right? So when you eat your apples and your onions and your berries and red wine, but I would say, it's an antioxidant. It's going to help neutralize free radicals. So really glad it's in there, anti-inflammatory. And we know about hemp, the mother plant, okay? We know all the things that hemp is going to do to be the main carrier, to make sure that intelligence of the hemp plant is in there, to literally facilitate all these other ingredients and matching your body's intelligence, prioritizing if you have to regulate blood pressure, if you have to regulate blood sugar and all the things that this product does. And then CoQ10, right? CoQ10, you make CoQ10. I hope you do. It's going to help generate energy in your cells, but unfortunately, it really declines with age, just like nitric oxide, right? So the body, okay? That's why people are tired. And then the last the last one is exstatin. I have a hard time saying that. That's just a red pigment that belongs to the carotenoids, okay? Why is this important? It's an antioxidant, okay? It helps with athletic performance, aging skin, muscle soreness, even mental health. So yeah, a lot of things that it's really good for. Okay, so the last thing I'll say, and I know that was a long talk, but each ingredient in this formula is designed to literally have a broad spectrum approach to making sure that you're having improved heart health. I mean, we talk about the endothelial cells. You have them every your body. So it's going to be a whole body approach to making sure that you're balanced. Now, I would strongly suggest people using those nitric oxide strips, right? I would do them every day for at least a week or two. So really to take a look at how the product is really benefiting you. Maybe you take a break and then redo it when you need to. So that's it for me, Jonas. Hope that helps.
Yeah, and it's funny that you just ended on that, because that was going to be my next question. What if some of us still have some of our original core left over? Because this is really a question, y'all. It's not about me, but it's a question for our lead marketer, because he likes, if 1 and 2 is good, he likes 10 and 12. That's just John Taylor for you. So if he was to take something like this and then put a scoop of core, is that going to be okay for him? Can he overdose, or what are we doing here? I just want to make sure for the John Taylors of the world. Is this safe? And I'm going to try it right now. So we'll if I'm still alive later today, then I think
don't worry, Jonas, I'll take over. But I just want to say, Lita, one, I'm glad you're good. You're okay. So I'm happy to hear that. And thank you for all those bombs you just dropped, because the EMF thing is huge, but also the just clarifying that all of us don't need to be the experts that you and Darren are in talking about this, that we can use the strips, we can test it ourselves, and we can share that from that perspective as we move into this kind of customer focused way of being. And I know both of you did videos, super excited to have those so that we can share them on our stories and get that, because I think how you broke down the ingredients, and I love that you brought in the Mexico family, Jonas, bringing up the
I'm in Mexico right now, so my website automatically pulls up Mexico.
So we're uniting our whole global Prime My Body family. But yeah, that disclaimer that we don't have to know it all, again, is really awesome. And having both of you on the medical advisory board to be making these videos that we can share with people, just want to let both of you know how much we appreciate what you're doing and how you're showing up for the Prime My Body family. So thank you both so much.
Definitely. And Darren, I'd like to do another question towards you. It's a two-part question as well. Why is nitric oxide, why is core specifically really good for athletes that are trying to, enhance their performance, but maybe not even athletes, maybe our 60, 70-year-old, 80-year-old geriatric population? Why is core good for them? Mobility of the musculoskeletal system, number one. Number two, that's preventative. What about reactive? Okay, you're in business, you're a chiropractor. We're all good at injuring ourselves. How is core really good for helping the body recover after, some musculoskeletal injuries?
Good question. Back on your too much thing. There's a thing with vitamin C that we call bowel tolerance. And we also with magnesium citrate. So be careful whether it might be Montezuma or, you might get a little too concentrated in your GI tract.
I'll blame Montezuma.
I don't think there's anything wrong with your heart or your head or anything in your physiology, but your digestive tract might be a little sensitive if you get a little too much of that magnesium and vitamin C, but that's just kind of on the joke. But, a lot when I talk to my patients, I talk about building blocks and I talk about items that they have to be able to heal and repair. And so when you look at some of these athletes, these pro athletes, and you might hear this on football saying, oh, they're injury prone, and they make it sound like it's this weakness that this athlete, who's this thoroughbred, has this weakness in their system that they always get injured. And I always beg to differ, saying I don't think that these athletes are putting near enough building blocks and repair molecules, so as they're training and as they're breaking down, that the body has the ability to repair and heal and regenerate. And so like Dr. Lita said, even just like vitamin C and hydroxyproline and glycine for the body to make collagen, and all the little essential, I always talk every day about essential nutrients, and that means the body can't manufacture them on their own. They're only come in through the diet and through supplementation, and we're far enough down the line, and I think we all know that the standard American diet isn't good for us. We've seen the outcome, we've seen the obesity, we've seen the disease rates not regress by any means whatsoever, and we have a medical community that by and large does not concentrate on nutrition other than the disease states of scurvy and vitamin C deficiency when sailors were coming across the ocean and didn't get enough vitamin C. There's so much more out there as far as information and out there. And I think as we all speak a common language, if we kind of look and we can kind of see all the benefits from vitamin D to all the essential nutrients to, vitamin C, the one of the couple of different species of mammals that can't make their own, glucose into vitamin C. And so that's just the staple building blocks. So I always come at everybody through a 4-part solution: your mechanics, your electric, your chemical, and your emotional. And so in this chemical section, you have to have raw materials when we're trying to mechanically fix and electrically fix, the house. And so nitric oxide gives you some of those basic staples in there, but like you alluded to in the beginning, it opens up things so we can actually deliver them to the targets. And so we need that transfer. We need that blood flow for all of these normal inflammatory processes to do what they're supposed to do. And whether it's a head injury, because we have 3 different nitric oxide synthases. We got this NOS1 that hits our brain and our peripheral nerve systems. We have the second one that's part of our immune system, so it reacts like it's supposed to. We're coming up on cold and flu season. One of the number 1 and 2 things I would tell people to do: vitamin D and vitamin C. And now, like I said, nitric oxide also is going to help that immune system do what it's targeted to do. And then we have the third one, which is that endothelial nitric oxide. And that's where all the cardiovascular and preventative things that we're trying to do to prevent not just cholesterol and hardening of the arteries and stiffening of the arteries. We're not winning when it comes to cardiovascular disease. You look at the number 1, 2, and 3 killers, they're still the number 1, 2, and 3 killers as they've always been. And so if you always do what you've always done and you don't do anything different, that's the stupid insanity that we all talk about. We all want to talk about genetics and environment, but nobody wants to test and look at genetics. And so we actually in our office do genetic testing, and we look at those people that have nitric oxide synthase SNPs. And so when I know that I have somebody's nitric oxide strip and I can show them they're deficient, when I can actually look at their genetics and say, hey, you got a propensity to having this, here's all this research that says everything that benefits this thing that work, and here's all the things that don't. Now we can give these people what they need so their body can do what it was designed to do, which is heal and maintain and take care of itself in a homeostatic mechanism. So athletes, yes, they need more because they're pushing their body and they're hurt, they're breaking their body down quicker. The aging population from 20 to 25 is when we decline on a lot of different things: melatonin, testosterone, estrogen. So by giving a true preventative measure, this is what I think nitric oxide has. It is probably on my list. I go with about 5 basic essentials, but nitric oxide is right up there on top of my specialty, nutrients that I want to give patients.
Okay.
Hey, Jonas, real quick, just to answer some of the chat, and I love seeing all the activity in there, but Anne said the label is on your website, so you can go in and see all the things. That's what you share with people, and the label is right there. And someone wanted to know, maybe just one person, but I think probably several. Cynthia wanted to know why it enhances male-female sex drive and function. If one of you want to take that on, I know you addressed that, Lita, but also on a hormonal level, like, as our bodies are changing, and I know that's a big one. So if one of you want to touch on that, Darren, or both of you.
So real quick, I'll give you the 5-second. In my talk, I looked at a study of Viagra actually decreasing Alzheimer's by 70%, and you think Viagra is meant for men's erectile dysfunction. They also use it for pulmonary hypertension. But here's the thing. The drug blocks an enzyme that keeps nitric oxide around longer. And so what it does, it opens up the flow to the parts of the male genitalia and the female. So it gets you more circulation to those areas to actually provide with a healthier enhancement that you're looking for from this drug. But what I took away from there is, and I found an article that says those drugs can't work unless you have ample nitric oxide in your tissues. That's the quick version.
Wow. Lita, you want to touch on that as well?
I just saw a question from Jonas come in, but the first thing that we started to say as a company is we reduce the load. Okay. So we know this. We've launched 180 last year. We reduced the load, right? You reduce the carbs, the sugar intake, the alcohol. Very similar with EMFs. We can't really get away with EMFs. I mean, they're just part of our life. We can do a lot to minimize the load. Jonas, just to answer that, is that these waves, right? They literally increase, just very simply, they increase oxidative stress. And so when you're taking core, and it's, like, again, it supports the nitrate to the nitrite to the nitric oxide pathway, it's going to decrease oxidative stress. And I will touch upon that later. I can make a video about it so people understand, but you want to reduce the load. I love what you said, Dr. Darren, about, Viagra and all the things that it works for. I think that the most important thing that I want to impart about core and the launch of this new formula, so we can feel empowered to recommend it, is I want to bring up a study that just got released in Europe. And I hope that's okay, because I know we're family. So in March, European cardiologists, they literally, and most of us might know this, but just to understand why core is so important, is that they literally looked at the autopsy of COVID patients, right? And we know that COVID directly targets and damages the inner lining of our blood cells, right? The endothelial cells. So the autopsy said that these COVID victims had 9 times as many clots of those who died of the H1N1 flu. And this is the thing, it's attacking our endothelial cells, right? So I could go on and on and on about the autopsy that I was looking at. So CORE can help deal with and target endothelial damage. We can obviously want to prevent that. And I don't, we can have these discussions here and I just know that our job is to make sure that we very simply teach you how to understand what the formula will do in the body and how to appropriately recommend it. The NO strips are going to be great. People either deficient or not. Most people are deficient. And you never know your relationship to something unless you change it or take a break from it. And that is important as well. So I just would say, long to answer, and maybe I didn't answer your question, but the way that I recommend CORE and the way that I've looked at the new ingredients of how this is formulated is that some people are not going to change their diet. Some people are not going to move their bodies more. Some people are going to still carry their cell phone in their breast, right? Or in their pocket pants. Like they're just going to do that. And they're going to have a genetic predisposition, like Dr. Darn said. So this is why we need these supplements. So then we can continue to start the education one person at a time on how to take better care of themselves so they can start to feel better.
Nice. Amani, anything else you wanted to add on that? Any other questions?
No, I think what we're dropping, all this information is really important. I think the studies are really significant. And again, I think the videos that both of you did, and I like the idea. I mean, and Darren, I know like even maybe tailoring videos, one specific to athletes, one specific to the EMFs, one specific to, sexual enhancement and sex drive and what that does in the body, one for women, one for men. I think all the diversity of these videos from our medical advisory board, both of you, would be really helpful for us to share and not go into that place of feeling like we have to know everything. So, but I think it would be really important to have those, and just super excited to have a product that we can add, that diversifies us, keeps it still related to hemp, bringing that in there, that mother plant that you talked about, Lita, and being able to give something that we can easily share with people that are looking for solutions during a time when our bodies are under extreme stress from so many different things. And whether it's the kind of on the emotional level or the physical level, this addresses so many of these core issues, right? Just as the core issues of our time. So yeah, really, really important.
Yeah, so I want to make a caveat real quick because we've said it a few times on here. So just disregard if y'all see it in Spanish. Again, I'm in Mexico right now. If you log into yours, if you're in Mexico, you're going to see it fully in Spanish. Sí, claro. But if you're in America, you're going to see it fully in English. The pricing is a little bit different in America as well. But just like we said, y'all don't have to be the scientists. Let our medical advisory board do their job. What we get to be is informational traffic cops, meaning somebody says, hey, can you talk to me about this? Yes, let me point you to the website. Can you talk to me about this? Yes, Dr. Lita did a video. Yes, Dr. Darren did a video. So we can point them to the assets. Let the professionals be in the tools. Don't, if you're not
whatever we are, maybe not informational cops, but brand ambassadors, however, and we're defining that as a company, but we're sharing information, right?
Informational, and that's why I say it, like as a travel cop saying, no, go this way.
Totally.
They're not there to do anything else.
Jonas, I get you.
Our thing is just to get you there. So, YL-arginine, read about all this, y'all. We have so much content within your website that people can go to, especially your future customers. They're going to go to this website so that way they can see everything. They can see real statistics like this. You don't have to, you can memorize these statistics if you'd like, but you don't have to. That's the beautiful part about this. Everything.
And hey, I just want to do a shout out. I know Trey's working on it, and just if anybody else, if you haven't signed up for the Daily Duo, you need to do that. I told Dr. Darren, I said, start your thing now. I was just in a message to Trey to get it so that people, if they aren't in line with what's happening, but if you can't access the current core Daily Duo images, you can go onto the website and copy and paste and make your own. And that's something that we're working on to get everybody kind of caught up, but you can be creative. We can share each other's images. You can go to Prime My Bodies Instagram or Facebook page and copy images and share, do clips of, different things that do your own testimonial. Just want to do a shout out, since Trey's not on here, of how you can share this on your social media platforms. If you have an email list, blast it out to your people and let them know, give them your link to your website so they can go on and take advantage of that 20% that ends when, Jonas, to the 17th?
17th, I believe.
So we have this week to get busy, and this is the time that you want to encourage them to go on and use your website to get the discounted price, because it's only 20%, and then it'll go down to that 10%, which is all the time. So again, just trying to get everybody acclimated to this new customer focused way that we're, building our businesses right now.
Yeah, and so just to kind of finish off on the
Sorry,
website and what we have, we have our old core had 25 sachets. Now we have 30 servings in here. So when we look at the price went up by 20 cents. So when we really look at what we have here, but as you do that, like Amani just said, if you come in right now on, I believe Monday or Tuesday, we're going to be launching the auto ship for this as well. So if somebody wants to be grandfathered into the auto ship pricing, we will have that starting next week. We wanted to get this out right now, get everybody going. But as long you have to purchase first, if you're an affiliate, you can purchase the product packages as well. So if you're an affiliate, you need to purchase a product first, then you can put core on your auto ship, and you'll be able to get it at the lower rate, at the lower price. If you don't, you want to miss out between now and the 17th. After you heard Dr. Darren and Dr. Letha, I don't think anybody's going to miss out, Amani. So I really like what they're seeing right here. But these are our two packages. You can buy the 4-pack, get one free.
And these different prices in Mexico. Are you still in Mexico?
No, I think this is America right here. Yeah, I think this is America right here. It all counts it for FBR and FSS as well. So that way, if you're signing somebody up brand new who goes, hey, I want to be a brand ambassador, I want to do this with y'all, you're still going to get FBR, you're going to get FSS with it. Obviously, the best price, best bang for your buck. Get the 8-pack, you buy 6, get 2 free, $178 value. So we have all this right now. Go into your back office, get your products. Y'all know how fast core moves. You can sample it out to people, travel around with some water bottles, put it in real quick, let them try it, let them taste it. Everybody's going to feel that zing from it within about less than 30 minutes, I would say. I mean, that's when you just kind of feel, man, I feel good. I feel oxygenated. I don't feel caffeine stimulated high. And that's how I get with caffeine. Yeah, I'm like, oh, I feel a lot of angst within the caffeine. But when you do this, it's just, again, we're going to oxygenate everything. So your customers can go on and buy 20% off. We have our percentages off in our packages. Go in, get your order placed today. Again, we'll have until the 17th. So that way you're not waiting until the 17th and you accidentally miss and you go, but wait, let me talk to my upline. Let me talk to my downline. Who can help me here? Get on an order.
You don't need any help. Just go in and place an order. And other thing I want to say, Jonas, what you just said, which is significant. And I love that this is rolling out, that every time we do a promo on a product, that people can lock into that auto ship price. That's really, important. So that's another tool that you can use in your toolbox to share with people, that they can get locked in at that discounted price when they sign up on an auto ship. That's going to happen next week. We're super excited to have this back I literally, and when we were at the leadership thing, Aaron was saying, can I please have some of those sachets? I had ordered extra, so I was getting real generous, and then I was starting to get concerned, but now I know I can go in and get the new stuff, and I'm good to go.
We are. I want to have one last question for each of you. Amani, do you have anything that's been weighing on your mind? Have you read anything in the chat of this final question that we can do to wrap everything up?
I think I'm good. Just let Darren and Lita just share one last thing, and I think we can have a wrap.
Okay, so I'm going to leave it. It'll be a medical advisory choice. Darren, just to wrap everything up with a nice bow, what would you say about our new core and why people should get it? They should get it to their loved ones, their families, their friends, and everything that's happening right now. What's that extra oomph that you can put on this call right now?
we're going through fat season, right? We came off Halloween and Thanksgiving. We're going to Thanksgiving, New Year's parties and Christmas parties. So
Hibernation.
what's coming in January? More 180s, right? And so now we can use our core with our 180 program because it fits right in there. So we're going to be bumping all our weight back off. We're going to open up our circulation. We're going to filter all this toxic crap out of our bodies, and we're going to, get ourselves healthy again. So this is where I wanted everybody who did a 180 in my office did core along with it. So you asked me where I missed it the most. It was using it in tandem in conjunction with the 180 program. So that's where I'm gonna stock up myself. I got my order in. We're gonna make a huge push for January to get everybody's health back, and now we have another big pillar that we can use, in that mantra.
Yeah, and I'll piggyback on the 180 because caffeine does what? It's a vasoconstrictor. What is core? Vasodilator. Caffeine is also, it's going to make you use the restroom a lot. So we want to hang on to that hydration. We want to hang on to that nitric oxide in the body. We want the body to really absorb the lean body mass and the bones, the organs, the muscle tissue. We want that hydration building up, not a diuretic like caffeine, not going to the restroom constantly. So it's really good. I think we're even going to be coming out with a package. Don't quote me on it, but we're working on it right now. To get core in a 180, like a good, better, best model. So that way core can come with that 180 package. And also don't quote me on it, but we're working on it. Again, 180, we're going to put that on special probably in about a week or so. So that way we can all kick this off for January. Because like you just said, Dr. Darren, this is fat season. This is hibernation. Oh, I get to wear a jacket. Maybe I can eat a little bit more. I'm not wearing those tight clothes. I'm not going out to the beach right now because it's kind of cold outside. So yeah, let me go have that piece of pie for Thanksgiving, for Christmas. So y'all, this is the perfect time for core. So Dr. Lita, wrap it up with a nice bow. What would you like to tell the audience that's here today on your most favorite, most powerful point that we can wrap this up with core?
I guess that's to me, my service is going in and out. The main thing is healthy blood pressure, keep it in normal. Okay, it's going to help cardiovascular and heart health. Okay, it may support respiratory health through nitric oxide production. It's going to help increase your circulation, and it's going to be an amazing source of vitamin C. Okay, so like I said, men.
Oh, we're losing Lita, but we know what she's saying is really good.
Yeah. Did you heard that too, Amani? I heard it intuitively. I heard it.
Okay.
Yeah. I have a quick question.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anybody heat it up? Anybody put core in warm water or hot water like a tea?
No, Darren, can we?
I've tried it. It tastes good, but it should still stabilize everything because you're using the individual amino acids. So you're not going to denature the proteins under a certain heat, but you might try warm, too. So
yeah,
just another way to enjoy the product.
Just warm.
Right. Yeah. Right. Just warm.
Yeah, I would do it warm, maybe not too not over 195 degrees, like the temperature that you do coffee. The last thing I was going to say, if you guys can hear me, is we've talked about the core, benefits of core. Hopefully everybody gets it. We have a bunch of videos coming out, but I want to say one more thing to close up is that NOx has nitric oxide in it, right? I know Jonas has educated us about NOx. When I got in my car accident last Friday, the seatbelt, I could not even touch my neck. What did I put on every day? NOx. Okay. It was amazing to help me get back the blood flow to be able to touch my neck from the seatbelt. So there are so many applications for our products. And we can continue to teach each other the practical application of them. And of course, the medical advisory board can teach you about the proposed medical benefits that you will get from these products that we carry, but they are specifically designed to approach all people in the sense at some point in their life on the needs of the human body in the time that we're living in. So yeah, thank you everybody.
Yes, thank you so much. And I know I remember meeting with Wendy when she had done something to her ankle, and she did the same thing. She was rubbing Knox on. She goes, Jonas, like within a couple days, you know, like the bruising, the swelling went away. Again, we just want to create blood flow to those areas. So what if, and Dr. Lita, this would be a great question. I'm going to throw this one out there. What if we put Knox on, then body therapy after it? Would that help even more?
And drink core.
That's what I
And then
did.
drink it, and then take some focus.
Yeah. Yeah. There's the car accident protocol.
There, there it is. We just wrote the protocol right here. Y'all heard it first, folks.
But we don't make any claims or testimonials, however.
This
No.
is
Oh, and a
Dr.
bottle
Lita
of pop.
protocol.
And don't get into car accidents.
Yeah, there you go. Or you'll have to go see Darren.
There it is. We got you covered. Dr. Darren, Dr. Lita, thank you so much for being on. I know our field really had a lot of greatness from it. Amani, always a pleasure having you on. And there goes John Taylor, always drinking core, you know, a few core more. How many core are in there right now?
Just one.
I cannot
Just one.
confirm nor deny.
I just got out of the gym. There's a core
Unless
makes
you
it good.
drink Jonas's bottle, JT, then you might be.
Yeah, this again, that was a question for the Texans. Everything's bigger in Texas. And so if one serving's good, why not 10? You know, 6 is not better. John Taylor, we just heard it right now. You might have some awful bowel movements, if I'm right on that, Dr. Darren. We don't want that. We don't want the rumble there, especially if I'm sharing a room with a guy, you know. But y'all, we're down here in Mexico. Mexico is doing great right now. We're going to launch an event for them. They're launching core as well, so they'll be talking about it down here. So if you have your team, you know, encourage them to get to this event tonight. Then we're going to have a fun dinner for them. We're going to have events. We're going to have prizes, piñatas. I mean, the corporate team for Mexico went above and beyond for this event. I'm so stoked. Everybody's like, Jonas, can I be a part of the event? I'm going, what are you talking about? Then they sent me the agenda, and I was like, oh my goodness, we're gonna have dance offs, we're gonna have talent contests.
Yeah, just
There's so
don't
much
drink
stuff
too much
that's
of
gonna
that
happen
core,
here.
Jonas. Just make sure you don't drink too much of the core beforehand.
I cannot confirm nor deny that I will not have maybe one more serving of this. No, I'll be honest with y'all. So we'll have some fun tonight. I'm ready. Y'all see many pictures and videos, I'm sure. So again, Dr. Darren, Dr. Lita, thank y'all so much. I know the videos that y'all are going to be shooting are going to be phenomenal. And yeah, even if we could do some of those for libido, for heart health, for athletes, you know, so on and so forth, I think y'all can really get into those niches that would really help all of us that are on this call and our teams really take core to the next level with everything that we do. And I think it's a main driver for what we're doing here with plant-based medicine with Prime My Body. So thank y'all so much for being on.
Have fun in Mexico, JT and Jonas. Thanks, everyone. Thanks,
Gracias.
Lita.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Gracias. We'll talk to y'all later. Make sure you get your orders in, and we'll see y'all soon. Bye-bye.